Wandavision. Wow. Wandavision. I can't get that. Wanda. Whatever. Wandavision. Episode 5. A very special Wandavision. So, me and my girlfriend watched this last night, and gotta say, well, I don't think it's my favorite episode, so I don't know. For some reason, that second episode really stuck with me in terms of just how much I enjoyed watching it. That said, in terms of what we know is going on here, it's every episode in this series is just fantastic, and they're raising more questions than answers. We get Wanda actually confronting, the outside world. We get Vision become more suspicious. And obviously the reveal. Evan Peters, Quicksilver at the end there. They came here and go, what? But, I mean, there's a lot to unpack with this. I mean, let's start. First off, it's still funny. I like the, what was the line? I like the line, I don't really speak, but let me, he's a dick. So, I did like that. I thought, the few little bit of action we saw, again, this is not an action series per se in terms of Marvel. We get little bits of action almost in every episode in some capacity, I suppose, whatever you might deem action, but nothing major at this moment. But we did learn a lot. We learned that Vision's body was taken apart and being used for weapons by the head of Sword. And the head of Sword is a complete and utter ass. This guy is not a good... I don't know if he's an evil guy per se, but it's clear that he is not a good guy. Because they went against Vision's wishes to not use his body for weaponry, so that he's already not a good guy in that sense. He lied about he didn't even bring up the fact that Wanda had come in 9 days prior to this and gotten Vision's body. So that's another thing. It's like, why are you... It leads to the suspicion that maybe he had a hand in this on some level, or maybe he's just that greedy / incompetent. But yeah, it's like, dude, what the hell? There's no reason for you not to be giving this information, quite frankly. So what are you trying to hide here? The fact that he armed the freaking 80s droid that they used to put drone that they used to go and try to communicate with Wanda without telling anyone. So that was his fault as well. He nearly got his head blown off because of that. Like, this guy just is kind of not a good guy, but B kind of sucks at his job. He really isn't good at his job at all, if we're going to be frank. Because Sword apparently is Sword. Hold on. I got to remember the acronym. Sword. 1 sec. Sword. Marvel logo. Okay. Sword. Because Sword stands for Sentient World Observation and Response Department. But he's building weapons out of Vision and all that. It's clear this guy has other agendas and other motives. Whether or not he's going to be the head of Sword by the end of this series, that's actually going to be a good, interesting thing to see. We also get that interaction with that scene where Wanda just comes out of there dragging the drone. And she's in her normal garb, her accent's back. She's not happy. She's got her hex going. You leave me alone, I'll leave you. I already have what I want. No one will take it back again. I'm like, yeah, like Wanda. I'm not convinced. I'm getting more and more convinced that Wanda's she's not the true bad guy here. But at the moment, she is not a good person. Like, she's a villain at the moment. Let's bear. She might be a hero who's suffering and has done stuff to compensate and try to go get through grief. But Wanda is a villain at the moment. But I don't think she's the villain. I think there's something else or someone else at play. I think everyone at this point is kind of in that same mindset. Because we get obviously evidence later on that not everything in this world is under her control. In fact, it's actually starting to be implied that she might not have been the one to create this anomaly. She just has kind of harnessed it. But we see her interact with Monica, and it's clear there's something, going on. Like, Monica is clearly going to be maybe the one that talks her down. Either that or this secret cameo will be the one that talks her down. Because let's be clear, Evan Peters is not the Luke Skywalker level cameo. It's just not. Plus, he's not an MCU alumni or vet. And I think she did say that. Although, I mean, who knows? That could have been it. I still don't think it is. We got 4 more episodes to go. I'm sure we'll get. And I should note, this was a much longer episode than we normally get. This was like 7 minutes longer than our normal episodes. So it's clear that these episodes might be varying now between the 30-minute to 40-minute mark, and I'm completely fine with that. Yeah, but because it looks like she almost had to force her way back in. But we also get a little bit of a hint that Monica and Carol, Captain Marvel, they're not on good terms right now, at least from Monica's point of view. Like, when she gets brought up that that one almost took a Thanos, and then it was Captain Marvel, well, she's not here right now. It was clear, like, a little shade being thrown right there. Like, you and Carol, okay? Want to talk about sport? It's clear something's off. And then there's the whole thing that her x-rays were like blank. Like, what's the deal with that? It's implying that if her x-rays are blank, it's implying that she's probably putting out radiation of some kind. Now, is it the radiation that... Here, oh, God. Oh, my God. Now, I heard... if you ever watched John Campy, I like John Campy a lot, but if you ever watched it, he did a theory video. He theorized... What if Carol Danvers inadvertently had given her mom cancer? Because both Wanda and Captain Marvel got their powers from an Infinity Stone, and the Infinity Stones do give off radiation of some kind. What if, however, Carol had somehow inadvertently given Monica powers, and Monica had given her mom the cancer through the radiation? Oh man, that would give her a reason to be pissed at Marvel. Definitely would. I'd be pissed. It's like, cool, I got powers, but you made me kill my mom. I was like, geez. So that was interesting. But then obviously we get everything going on in Westview, and yet we get the kids growing up. The kids seem to not be under Wanda's control. I just watched Rockstar's breakdown, and they make a point that the Vision points out there are no children in Westview, despite saying for the children, there's no children there. He goes to work every day, and there's no children on the playground or anything like that. But there's 2 kids here, and the kids aren't under her control. So what? And the great theory got brought up. It's like, what if her hex or her whatever she's doing or whatever's going on doesn't work on kids? The idea being that, and they bring up that Monica felt pain and guilt. She was feeling either Wanda's pain or guilt, or Wanda was bringing out her own pain and guilt over her mom. But because kids are usually young and innocent and haven't really had much go on negative, they don't carry that kind of ill and that guilt or pain in them. So what if that's why there are no kids that you see? Is that Wanda can't control kids? But that still goes under the idea that Wanda's the one who's completely into control here, and we get that scene with Agnes, and that scene with Agnes, I think, is very key. It shows that Agnes we do see later on that Agnes is under the spell, in one of the later episodes, like the Halloween one, where Vision goes and kind of saves, breaks the spell for a little bit. But she could have been acting, but she's always, since, I want to say maybe a little since the second, but since the third and on, it's been hinted very much that Agnes knows about what's going on here more than a lot of other people do. And the fact of the matter is, Wanda generally can reset things. We never see her reset anything in this episode, because it's clear that her whatever control she has over this world, it seems to be slipping. She can't control the kids. She doesn't try to just rewrite reality with Vision anymore. She actually has the argument with Vision. And Agnes just looks at her like the director and is like, "You want me to take that line from the top again or whatever?" And now it's like Agnes can see like the kids just grow up immediately, and she sees it happen like twice, and one is almost okay with her getting caught now and then people are wondering, did Agnes kill Sparky? It's very much implied Agnes would have killed that dog. Like maybe the dog found something it shouldn't have. And then when she looks at Wanda, when Wanda's, the kids say, "You can bring people back dead," and Wanda, she goes, "You can do that?" It's like, I can't do that, which I want to talk about the outline in just a second. Yeah, it's implying there's something more with Agnes. I mean, we've all been speculating that, I think, from the beginning, but it's clear there's something more with Agnes, and I think it has to do with who Ralph is. Honestly, maybe she's not Agatha Harkness. That's a big theory that she's Agatha Harkness, the witch. And it's possible. Like, what if we get to the final, episode, and it's Wanda, and Vision's, trying to escape, and it's like, Wanda's like, "No, Wanda, you need to stop. I gotta stop you. No, Wanda, we can't do this." And Wanda's actually trying to stop this. All of a sudden, we see a spell circle like you see Doctor Strange, but it's now Agnes as Agatha Harkness. It's like, "Wanda, you can't do this. I tried to help you, and you abuse that power, and we have to stop you." Like, what if that'd actually be really cool. I'd love to see Catherine Hahn just start being badass with spells and stuff. That'd be really fun. I mean, that's possible. Anything's possible. Literally, when you're talking about a series that involves reality warping, anything's possible. Like Evan Peters as Quicksilver showing up. But, okay, do I want to talk about Vision next, or I want to talk about, that line. She's trying to teach her kids, sometimes people die and you gotta live with it, all that. The problem I'm really having with Wanda's character, and Wanda's character, episode by episode, Wanda's character is becoming more tragic, but unfortunately less likable. For me, anyway. And I'm still enjoying, don't get me wrong, I'm not going to be hating her character I doubt it, unless she decides, even if she did Thanos level stuff, I wouldn't hate her character, because I loved Thanos as a villain. But the character was always, decent, likable, but, not like the main player. And it turns out she definitely has likable sides to her. But the fact of the matter is, and I'm speaking, and I can actually say that I'm speaking from personal experience when it comes to pain and loss. A lot of people try to rationalize what they're doing. I'm in pain. I need to do whatever I can to be out of pain. Maybe go into my own fantasy or whatever. But when you start hurting people and, affecting others with what you're doing, then you have to face, you can only rationalize it so many ways before you realize you are the bad guy. You are hurting. Your pain is not greater than anyone else's that you should be inflicting pain or holding people hostage. Now again, it's implied it is Wanda doing it, but it's now also implied that she might not be the one doing it, because when Vision frees Norm, he says, "She's in my head. You got to stop her." He never says Wanda. He never says that. Which, by the way, if it is in fact all Wanda, the fact of the matter is that she's trying to rationalize, and Vision even came out and said, "You're holding people hostage." But at the same time, she's like, "I don't know what you're talking about." She's either lying to his face, which is partially true, she is, or she's only partly lying. Like, she doesn't control all the people. She can control moments within her vicinity and the show itself, but she can't control. Like, she even said, "I control people going to work, their daily lives." No, so either her powers have grown that much and she's just not aware she's doing it, or she's flat out lying, or there's something else at play. But if she is the one doing it, then it's like, yeah, she's actually starting to become a kind of really unlikable for me. Not like I detest this character, but I can't sympathize with her at this point. The longer it goes on, the less I can sympathize with her, because again, anyone who's watched this, I lost my mother on Christmas. I miss her every day. But if I had Wanda's powers, first off, she's older than I am, but I would not go out of my way to try to. I believe I wouldn't, because I didn't. In fact, I wouldn't, because when it happened, I didn't go out of my way to try to hurt people or try to, steal my mom's body and bring her back. I didn't do any of that. If I had powers or anything like that, I wouldn't have done that. It was one of those things where you had to accept the loss. But the problem for Wanda is she's already dealt with so much loss that I don't know if she's got the maturity or the strength of spirit to basically say, no, I can't hurt other people. No, she wants just her life back. But the problem for Wanda is it's all a lie. What happens when she has to basically come to the understanding that it's all a lie? Because none of this is ultimate. I mean, yes, it's real because she's transmutating things. She's transmutating things that go in and they come out, and they stay the same when they come out. And my computer's lagging for some reason. Maybe if I close a tab, and yeah, that's better. And we see in the trailer, Vision will try to get out of Westview, and I'm wondering what's going to happen. I'm seriously wondering what's going to happen when that happens. Will he go back to being a corpse? Will he be like gray with stone missing, but he's still walking around, moving and talking? Oh God! Because that one scene was creepy as hell in the 4th episode. And that's something I want to address too. Vision is capable of snapping people out of this. Like, he's capable of snapping a mind out of the illusion. So what's the deal with that? Because that's clearly a power of the Mind Stone, the ability to take over minds, but also, control and manipulate minds. How is that working? Is it that there might be remnants of the Mind Stone's power in him? Is it because that Wanda's power came from the Mind Stone, and because Mind Stone was in Vision's body, he's actually has a portion of Wanda's powers in him? What's the deal with that? How is he able to do that? And then you get the fight, and I find, again, that fight is really interesting because Wanda doesn't try to reset Vision. Wanda at this point knows that Vision knows something's wrong, but she's trying to just keep the illusion. And then she says the line that I'm like, okay, I don't know how all this happened. Now, is that just because it's a sitcom? Is she stressed? Or is it because she actually doesn't know how the sitcom thing happened? It just happened and she went with it because it was giving her what she wanted. And that's the thing now, too. She's trying to rationalize. She cares about what she wants, not what this fake Vision wants. Even though this Vision to her is about as real as it can be, it's still, something she's kind of that's been brought to life. She cares more about what she wants than what Vision wants. Like, when Vision says he's scared, it's like, you're my husband and their father, isn't that enough? It's like, sorry. No, it's not enough. And it's because you're just trying to get him to stop so you can have what you want. Sorry. And like I said, the longer this goes on, the less sympathetic I am to Wanda. I'm sorry. And I mean, in a good way, like, she's really turning into a really tragic, good villain. But unfortunately, it's making me, sympathize. Like, I can actually, as fucked up as it is, I can actually sympathize where Thanos was coming from. It's like, look, like, when you think about what he's saying, as morbid as it is, there's a logic to what he's saying. Maybe you don't agree with it, and it's not, and I'm not saying I agree with it per se. I'm just saying there is not the logic, but there's a logic. What he says is like, look, the universe, not this planet, not my planet, not the world, universe is overpopulated. I saw it happen. The collapse of my planet, if we had just done a culling, we could have saved pretty much the generations to come. Because when a population gets too big, a culling is usually needed. That's why predators and prey exist, to keep a balance. And his rationale was, if I just wipe out half of all life, there will be balance. And to some degree, he was right. We saw evidence at Endgame that he wasn't wrong, which is effed up, but we saw evidence of it. Unfortunately, with Wanda, I get where she's coming from. She's hurting. She's lost so much, and then she had to kill Vision once and see him die a second time. And she didn't even get to kill the guy that killed him. And then his body was being used for scientific experiments. Like, I get it. That would break nearly anyone. But when you have the power to actually warp reality, or at the very minimum, move things in your mind and warp people's perception, you've got to understand the ramifications of the reactions and how it could be affecting other people. And I don't think it just doesn't seem like she cares. Like, Vision says, you're controlling people. It's like, she says, I'm not. But it doesn't really matter because people are clearly under a spell. That's what Vision is implying. And she doesn't care. So, Evan Peters, let's wrap this up. Is this Fox? Is this a Fox Marvel universe crossing over the MCU? No, but if we see a Magneto, Ian McKellen, or Michael Fassbender, James McAvoy, Patrick Stewart show up, I am not going to be shocked in the least. What I think, what it is it's a fun nod to anyone who's a fan of the Marvel and Fox movies. It could be a multiverse thing because this ties into Spider-Man 3, which will probably have multiverse shenanigans, and Doctor Strange 2, which is literally the multiverse of madness. So it ties into those. So the fact that this could be multiverse is possible. I don't think it is, because Wanda in this episode, a lot of people point out, doesn't say her brother's dead. In the third episode, she said, "I had a twin. His name was Pietro. He was killed by Ultron." It's like she says past tense in that episode, but she says current tense. She does present tense in this case. It's like, I have a brother. I have brother. Now, does that mean she subconsciously created the brother, or is that the powers that be, whatever is controlling this, created the brother? Because she was legitimately shocked. So I am thinking whatever else is behind this created it. Like she is somehow controlling this. Whatever entity is kind of controlling it. Like maybe like a genie or like a deity of some kind. Maybe it's Mephisto just making sure that the world, that everything is perfect, and like, I want those children. Like maybe that's Ralph. Maybe this is Ralph. Maybe that's Mephisto. A lot of people have said that's Mephisto in disguise. I don't think so, although Rockstars did point out something really interesting in that scene where she's at Thor's, that the mirror behind her. I don't think anything of it really at the moment, but what he's mentioning isn't bad per se. It's an interesting theory. As I stand right now, I think it's more of a fun nod, and like that Evan Peters Quicksilver is going to be gone by the end of the series. I think it's a fun nod. But I also think there might be something behind it more. Like, more than anything else, I think the Quicksilver brother is just fun Quicksilver brother. Until he starts looking at him, he's like, you're messing things up. Look, Wanda just wants to be happy. You can be happy with Wanda forever. Don't mess it up. Like, if he does something like that, then I'm like, you're Mephisto, or you're whoever is behind this. If that's what happens. But we'll see what happens. We got 4 more episodes of WandaVision. Both me and my girlfriend both agreed. Like, I'm loving it, but it does suck. It's like a weekly episode thing. Like, I have to wait. Like, the minute I finish the episode, I'm like, I want the next episode. But at the same time, it really gives us something to look forward to on Fridays. So there's that. Anyway, though, that's my thought of WandaVision episode 5. What are your thoughts? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Did you like it? What are your theories? Let us know in the comments below. But thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, if you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. Hit that bell for notifications. I'll be back with What If in a little bit. Later.